Hi, this is Andy Hoffman of CryptoGoldCentral.com and the World Crypto Network. It's Thursday, February 22nd, and today's crypto audio blog is about a topic I am well known for and likely will be for many years to come, which is Bitcoin maximalism, which, like the gold maximalism of my previous investment career, is unquestionably the safest course of action, even if ultimately one is wrong to assume Bitcoin's price appreciation will outperform alts over the long term. A comparison, I might add, that must incorporate the myriad crypto dividends one receives by holding Bitcoin, as opposed to the inconsequential crypto dividend scraps thrown off by altcoins. To start, let's just get this out in the open. As much as we want to believe the worst is over, it's entirely possible that crypto is amidst a period of consolidation that could take several more weeks or months, perhaps the entire year for all we know. What we just experienced was, no matter how one tries to sugarcoat it, a parabolic blow-off top caused by rampant speculation. The initial catalyst, in my view, were the real accomplishments made by Bitcoin, the world's only real cryptocurrency and real, secure, decentralized blockchain, proven to be anti-fragile by a 99.99% operating rate over its 9 years of existence, with every imaginable hurdle cast in its path. Yes, the unequivocal victory, or should I say rout, in the scaling debate against Roger Ver's various big block incarnations was a major positive catalyst for Bitcoin, as well as the spoil of SegWit activation, which in turn enabled the incredible second layer scaling technology developments we are seeing today. Not to mention a dramatic decline in the mempool, now that Ver and his equally stressed out, competitively challenged partner in crime, Jian Wu, no longer have the capital to prolong this charade, and shrinkage of Bitcoin network fees to levels, as we speak, below that of Bcash, which, LOL, Ver continues to lie to any moron stupid enough to listen by telling them Bcash, i.e. Satoshi's true vision, is faster and cheaper than Bitcoin. Frankly, Bcash is not worth even mentioning anymore, as it was never a true Bitcoin competitor, but instead, per the numerous Bcash-focused crypto audio blogs I posted in the past month, an elaborate pump-and-dump scam predicated on lies, fraud, and bad code, which in my view will one day become, for all intents and purposes, as worthless in the financial markets as it is in the real world. Unfortunately, Bitcoin's success was leached onto by thousands of unabashed, uneducated, and undisciplined speculators, as well as every manner of bad-intentioned opportunists looking to capitalize on the hype with blatant cash grab schemes, which cumulatively cannot be more toxic to the Bitcoin community. Some, like BitConnect, were outright scams, but most vaporware on a par with the worst late 90s dot-coms, offering nothing but a dream and doing so with unregulated securities created haphazardly in cookie-cutter fashion by small, often one-man development teams with little track record of success, if at all. Consequently, a massive bubble was blown up in the cryptocurrency space, but not so much in Bitcoin, whose incredible accomplishments, in my view, more than justify its peak valuation of more than $300 billion, even if admittedly it got that level way too fast for my liking from a technical standpoint. Conversely, the altcoin sector at its peak was worth $500 billion, despite only a handful having any viable use case or even enough development talent to maintain the project. And of course, the fatal flaw in nearly all cases of centralized leadership with goals not aligned with the other holders. In my view, what really drove the final blow-off phase to levels that, in the case of many useless altcoins, will prove to be permanent tops, was the Wall Street wall of money that entered the space January 1st. Indiscriminately, newly minted crypto hedge funds bought everything they could get their hands on, in the hope of selling them to greater fools, as typified by the manic, borderline psychotic buying of South Korean mom and pops, and the characteristic recklessness of Pied Piper-like MSM networks like CNBC, which, for example, gave a live tutorial on how to buy Ripple with Bitcoin on Poloniex at nearly $3.50, and colluded with Roger Ver to get listeners to believe Bcash was usurping Bitcoin and thus should be bought for $3,000 to $4,000. Hence, a spectacular altcoin bubble, followed by the equally spectacular collapse that continues as we speak. Such moves don't typically consolidate in mere weeks, and if I'm correct, many, perhaps the majority, will never return to uptrends. Fortunately, there's a flip side to everything that's wrong with cryptocurrency, which is everything that's right about Bitcoin. As while the vast majority of cryptos have no right even calling themselves currencies, given that they possess few, if any, of the attributes of money, Bitcoin not only possesses these attributes, but does so vastly more plentifully than any money the world has ever known, be it fiat or gold. Hence, my belief that we are heading into a period in which, following the sector-wide correction that may or may not have fully worked off the extreme excesses of the bubble surge, Bitcoin dominance will return, fraudulent altcoin market cap accounting irrespective. The reason being that so much money was lost chasing pipe dreams that the remaining, or should I say surviving, crypto investors will be far more discerning as to what they're buying, which, if their goal is asset legitimacy, will severely limit their investment choices. Equally important is that crypto investors in general, including you and I, need to realize that the gains we have made, for those wise and or lucky enough to have held on to them, may need to be harvested for some time, during which the most valuable thing you can do is educate yourself of the realities of cryptocurrency regarding what can and can't be done, who can and can't do it, and how you should invest financially and career-wise to maximize your returns. To wit, this extremely wise tweet from @CryptoSqueeze today of how you should be approaching the current market weakness. I realized that crypto Twitter traffic has dropped significantly ever since Bitcoin crashed to 6,000. I'm guessing a lot of people got hurt real bad and quit. Bull market is the best time to make money. Bear market is the best time to learn. Persevere and you will be rewarded. Regarding today's principal topic, it's something that has been brewing in my mind for the past month, amidst the overarching theme that ultimately the historic crypto bubble will result in more discerning crypto investors in the years to come, which was catalyzed to the point of publication by last night's Adam Meister podcast, in which he spoke of the increasingly ugly civil war ongoing in Monero, as the Monero V hard fork looms mere weeks away. The issue is the emerging crypto civil wars, which, like the Clone Wars and Star Wars, lasted a very long time with many casualties. From a bigger issue standpoint, put it this way. Consider what Bitcoin investors were forced to deal with until recently, as seemingly each month a new existential threat was introduced into the ecosystem. Some were external, like Chinese capital controls and exchange bans, but by far the most terrifying were internal, starting with the omnipresent threat of a fatal network split, be it due to the multitude of Roger Ver-led Bitcoin usurpation schemes like Bitcoin Unlimited, Bcash, and SegWit2x. Throw in relentless FUD from multiple sources regarding the potential for the Bitcoin network, for a variety of known and unknown reasons, to fail, and it literally was torturous to wake up each day. This is why early investors have been so amply rewarded, as when it turned out the Bitcoin blockchain was in fact immutable and thus immune to all such threats, the value created was incalculable. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the vast majority of altcoins, and I do mean the vast majority. The reason being that as the dust settles from the bubbles bursting, it's becoming painfully obvious just how flawed most altcoins are, which in many cases, if not most, are patently worthless. Equally ominous is the fact that within many of the largest altcoins, vicious civil wars are breaking out, just like those Bitcoin experienced and won in 2016 to 17. Only in these cases, most of the coins in question don't have actual use cases, no matter what form the dominant version takes. Worse yet, at least one, and in some cases both sides, have centralized leadership that may or may not know what they are doing and may or may not have their interests aligned with that of investors. In other words, if you're holding Ethereum, Monero, Zcash, Bcash, and numerous others, be prepared to wake up each morning fearing what may have occurred overnight. As like Bitcoin's civil wars of the past, price-destroying news flow is possible at any time. Summarizing these thoughts is the following tweet I posted this morning. Trying to pass off centralized altcoins as cryptocurrencies is on the verge of coming home to roost. Civil wars at Ethereum and Monero are indisputably underway, and it's only a matter of time at Bcash, no matter how powerful a dictator Roger Ver is. Followed by this tweet directly thereafter, for those who actually believe Be Private, which for all the hype, including a Twitter feed with 35,000 followers, only trades at a measly 0.013 Bitcoin in the Z Classic implied futures market, has created something unique. Not to burst the Be Private bubble, but it's just another crypto civil war, not only within Zcash, led by another centralized leader, but privacy coins in general, that ultimately will be subsumed by Bitcoin. Said cryptocurrency wars aren't going away anytime soon, and particularly in former darling coins like Ethereum and Monero, could yield significant price weakness in the coming months, perhaps absolutely, but certainly relative to Bitcoin. Ethereum in particular is about to see its massive debilitating warts exposed, like the unwieldiness of its blockchain, reliance on ICOs, competition from numerous other platforms, including Rootstock-enabled Bitcoin, and burgeoning wars over proof of work versus proof of stake and centralization versus decentralization, which may or may not involve a second hard fork and definitely will involve a potentially bloody confrontation with Ethereum Classic, which many, including Vitalik, had erroneously left for dead. So while there's no way of knowing how long the industry-wide correction will last and how deep it might get if it hasn't bottomed yet, what I do know is that an increasing amount of investor scrutiny is coming at a time when Bitcoin's fundamentals have never been stronger, whilst most altcoins are facing gargantuan issues related to civil wars, valuation, and long-term viability. Thanks, and have a great crypto day.